Ni hao. I know it's been 3 months and I'm supposed to know more than that, but I might be in trouble. It has been 3 months, I think, as of yesterday, that I've started learning Mandarin Chinese. If you haven't seen my first 30-day video, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description. Or actually, let's see if something pops up here. You can click that if there's something there. If there's not, just check the link. So let's see, I just rewatched my first 30-day video, and I'm not too happy with the progress that I've made, or I guess the progress that I haven't made. The thing is, it's not coming nearly as quickly as Spanish. And for another video, if you haven't seen my video on how I learned to speak Spanish and where I'm at with that as far as fluency goes, again, link in the description, or maybe if I figure it out, a box right there. Maybe it's down there, somewhere over there, I hope. That'd be cool. So, what have I done differently? What's changed? What have I learned? I'm still sticking to a few apps. Duolingo is still on there for Chinese, although it's not as good as Hello Chinese, which is an app developed just for learning Chinese, believe it or not. But for the last, I don't know, my goal was to always do a lesson a day, so I'm always pressing forward, always progressing. But I started to look back, and there were so many things that I didn't pick up like as quickly as I did in Spanish. So for the last solid month, maybe even 6 weeks, I've just been doing review, trying to make things stick. And another pitfall, and I'm beating myself up now because I even mentioned it in my 30-day video, was that I'm just not speaking enough. And so I was actually, just yesterday, I was looking at Pimsleur, just because that it gets you speaking. I listened to the first kind of sample lesson, and it really does. It gets you talking, and I know there's going to be a phase where my accent is so bad that nobody could understand me anyway, and I'm just trying to get through that phase as fast as possible. Would be nice. So yeah, so I'm still using these apps. I'm still scouring YouTube when I have time. There's actually, geez, we're up to 3 links in the description already. There is a video that I saw, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and it's Mark Zuckerberg being interviewed, and he's in China. And of course, he's not Chinese, but his now wife is Chinese, so he was learning Chinese, and he kind of answered a few questions in Mandarin. And I remember watching that and thinking how cool that was. And I recently rewatched it, and of course it's easier to understand because he's a native English speaker learning Chinese, so he's got a more understandable accent, I would argue. But he also just speaks in very basic terms. And I watched it and I thought, oh my gosh, like I recognized, of course I have the subtitles on still, but I can kind of like, oh, that's that word. I knew that one. I couldn't answer that question, but I know that when he says something about his wife, I know that's the word for wife. I probably had to see it in English to know, but it's like, oh, I'll fact check that. Not qualified to do so, but if anybody cares, that's what that word is. Don't know what the rest of them are. But with all this review, really, I've kind of been solidifying, because in these Chinese apps, this is different from learning Spanish, definitely. Because it's the same alphabet, when you have a Latin language, but because we're dealing with characters, there are certain things that I know and I can recognize the character. There are certain words or phrases, and I kind of need some English help, some pinyin. That's what it's written out in letters underneath it, and so I kind of know, like, if I see this character, I'm not confident how to pronounce that character, but oh, there's the pinyin below it. Okay, of course, that makes sense. And there are certain ones that I don't know the pinyin, but I kind of recognize the character for. So I feel like I got some basics out of the way now. I do probably need to find somebody to practice with. That might be a couple months off still. I'm gonna look into, again, Pimsleur. Actually, if you guys have any recommendations, please do let me know. I'm totally okay with paying 15, 20, 25 bucks a month for access to a podcast or whatever the program is. Obviously Rosetta Stone is up there, Pimsleur is up there, but if there's one I haven't heard of, or if there's one that kind of helped you over the hurdle, let me know. I haven't pulled the trigger on anything yet, so I'm totally open-minded to that. I guess to kind of demonstrate, I took a lot of crap in the last video because I didn't speak enough, but the problem is, at the end of the last video, I didn't know anything. So I guess I still feel like I don't know anything, but I'll do a mock conversation, and just to illustrate that I have an idea of how the basics go. I'm sure my accent is still way off, but I'll just have a fake conversation with myself. I'm gonna get a disguise, and we'll go from there. Has anybody seen Sam? Oh, that's him in his clever disguise. Who would have known? 对不起，你会说中文吗？我会说一点儿。你叫什么名字？我叫 Sam。你呢？哦，我叫Jackie Chan。你多大？我26岁。你住在哪里？ I don't know about you guys, but Jackie Chan seemed quite unsure of that last question. 我住在美国。我是美国人。很好，你喜欢做什么？我喜欢喝酒。So, it's all very robotic, and it's all very formal, and it's all super dry. And I remember thinking that when I was learning Spanish, that like this is dumb because I only ever took Spanish 1, but you just learn things like, I like to eat pizza. I want to go swimming. It's really, there's not much continuity to it. Every sound you make is a new sound, so you sound dumb. But like, there's more. How about a short tour of the apartment? 这是我的床，那是我的电视，这是我的sofa. I don't know that one yet. That just means there's gonna have to be a 6-month update, huh? Carbonaire. What a strange varietal. So my accent is still just abysmal. Most of my vocabulary is still absent or just totally non-existent. My listening comprehension honestly feels better than when I went through this process in Spanish, but I think that's I don't know, Chinese is prettier, I think, and it's a little more disconnected, and with all the accent marks, I feel like if I just hear a mostly fluent sentence in Chinese, I still have no idea what they're saying, don't get that twisted at all, but I can kind of tell where certain words begin and end. I think that could just be ignorance on fire. But where I'm going with this, again, I'd like to focus more on speaking, and this time not lie to you like I did in the previous video 2 months ago. So I will do a 6-month update. I did get a book. I got a book as well. This is for level 1. This is beginner's Chinese, and it's called Chinese Breeze. I kind of flipped through it a little bit. I bought it not too long ago, but I really haven't started reading it. But just so you can get an idea, it is all in Chinese, and this is called Kua, something like that. Wrong. So something about two twins. I think one dies. Oh, there's a synopsis in English. A pretty girl lies dead on the floor of her luxury home. Well, I love a good gripping fiction novel anyway, even if it is like 12 pages long. But yeah, most of these characters I'm gonna have to look up. A lot of them I feel like I've seen, but probably just lying to you again. So I know this will take a while. I'll probably have to write it down as I go, like in a notebook. But I will have this completed by the 6-month update. Again, I'm gonna spend, I need to find a podcast. These apps, just like how I mentioned in the Spanish video, there are a lot of good apps that can help you learn the structure and kind of the foundation of a language, but you're really not gonna get much further than that. You can learn some vocabulary, you can force yourself to remember certain things, but you really have to, I think you have to listen and speak. So I have 3 months now to string together, more than 4 or 5 sentences. But please let me know again in the comments below, any of those of you who have learned Chinese or learned more than me, which is not going to be too difficult, I don't think. What sources did you use? I don't have direct access to a lot of Chinese speaking people. I don't just run into them on a day-to-day basis. So any YouTube channels are great, podcasts are great. Again, any services that you would recommend, like Rosetta Stone or Pimsleur, or one I haven't heard of yet, I'm all ears here. And those of you who were raised speaking Chinese, I'm certain I made a mistake or two, so I take all criticism positively, in language learning, I guess. There are times when that's not applicable. I try to take all criticism positively, So, yeah, thanks for checking out the update. Sorry, I'm not as far along as I thought I would be. But just be on the lookout. In another 3 months or so, I'll have another video. And I can't forget anything because there's not much to forget. So it'll be better than this. But I guess until next time, 再见.